What's up, fellas? Happy Sunday. Chuck Silver and Smitty here, bringing you the strategy for DraftKings and FanDuel. We had a fun one yesterday. Shout out to whoever talked me into Isaiah Stewart by the end of the stream. I did say he was good play by the end. Everyone did it yesterday. The chalk super went off. KPJ was the man that you probably needed. I didn't see what the winning lineup ended up being. I'm just assuming it was all those chalk pieces plus KPJ since he was a cheap guy that super went off. No Giannis today, so you already know who's at the top of value. KPJ projected for 27 minutes. I don't think this is too bad of ownership. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes up, though, once we get official news and sites update their projections. But Smitty, it's Sunday. Baseball season's fully underway. We got NCAA, NBA's winding down. How are we doing?
Yeah, pretty good time of the year. It's been busy, but look forward to keeping it going.
Yeah, and remember, guys, if you like our NBA content, our MLB content's pretty good too. Smitty's one of the authors of the plug. Sign up for the site, gets you access to the MLB model too, which is very strong. Jose, this is a whack slate, but you're still here. I feel the same way, man. Yesterday's slate, like I said, it was bad, and then Jaw got ruled out. I thought it got better, but it was just pure chalk. All went off yesterday, and today's slate, it's a little better. At least there's some stuff we can find, but it at least won't be as bad as yesterday. Interesting slate. Yep, Ben, appreciate you being here. Who's a sleeper for today? Try and find one. The model says Kyle Kuzma's up here. This ownership should go up once Giannis news comes out, though. And then Keon Brooks. I think you know that we're pretty on Keon Brooks in the show. Model loves him today. We'll take a look at that. Landon. Does Portland have enough players for a game? I hope so. They'll figure it out. They'll make a injured player dress and just not play him if so. But hopefully we get pretty strong minutes there. We'll take a look. Heath. Yep. Courtney, late season NBA. It used to be better. It used to be crush time. Now it's kind of hard now. We should just roster Jokic and Giannis and fill in the rest. I don't think Giannis is playing. He's doubtful. I don't think he's been officially ruled out, but yeah, Jokic is my highest exposed player right now. It's like that every day. We'll see how that changes. And Kuzma should be chalk. I don't know if he should be chalk, but we're definitely interested in him today, even though he's awful now. All right, Smitty, let's jump into it. First game, Washington versus Boston. Let's take a look here. From the Washington side, I wasn't looking at too much. Carlton Carrington, the top value here on both sides, projected for 13-15% ownership. No one else really pulling any ownership. Were you looking at anyone here? Can you hear me?
Um, yeah, my audio just keeps cutting out, but yeah, Sar I think looks okay, and then Carrington are pretty much the only two that I'll probably get to from here. Pretty much just seems like a spot you can avoid.
Yeah, I'll take a couple shots on Sar, and then been talking up this dude AJ Johnson. Model doesn't really like him today at 3 and 4%. I have 4% right now. If I keep that through lock, I'm okay with it. I don't think there's really anything else that interesting here. I mean, Jordan Poole, he's down to 6,200. Model score, his value's okay, 1% owned. We saw him put up like 50 fantasy points in 3 quarters before. We know he's not going to play the fourth, 20-point spread. I wouldn't hate it if I got a couple percent of Poole. From the other side, Boston, I got zero exposure to this team on DraftKings. Are you any different?
No, but Tatum and Porzingis just got ruled out, so that could
Oh,
change.
okay. Did we just get that as the stream started?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, nice. So we'll rerun that. Yeah, we'll come back to Boston and take a look at that. Spread probably comes down, but they should still be pretty big favorites. Go to the second game, San Antonio, Portland. Yeah, San Antonio a little bit less interesting today. They're only missing Jeremy Sochan. Wemby and D Fox have been out, but everyone else looks like they're available. I don't know. I'm not getting anywhere close to the ownerships that they're projected for. Were you any different?
No, I'm not either. Getting to a few percent of Champagne, but still no one near where we have them projected.
Yeah, I am getting about 5% of Champagne, Harrison Barnes, Chris Paul, and then it looks like Keldon, Devin Vassell, and Biombo. That probably goes away, but I'm getting 1 to 2% of those guys, so maybe they'll show up as like sprinkles. But as far as the model goes, Harrison Barnes is still going to show up as a top value on DK, very strong on FanDuel too, as is Chris Paul. And then Bismack is up here with high value. I'd rather get to other spots, but he is model approved if he's like your last guy in. Champagne looks fine. The other guys don't project as well. Stephon Castle, I don't believe this ownership. I don't know if other sites haven't projected for that much ownership, but I don't see how that's possible.
Yeah, me neither.
Uh, yeah, I'm gonna just hope that that comes down because I'm kind of interested in getting to Stephon Castle. I mean, all right, the ownership came down a little bit, and now he's showing up as a slightly better value, but model still doesn't love him. 8.90 off index is fine at the price, despite the poor value ratings. But we've kind of seen the ceiling Stephon Castle has, and for me, a big thing is he's pulling down a lot of rebounds, which helps create a pretty strong floor. We know he's a good passer. It's like the points that worry me. It's his scoring, but against Portland, I think this is a prime matchup to take shots on Stephon Castle. I just really hope this ownership comes down because if it stays this high, I don't know if that's correct. Other side of this game, Portland. Let's see here. So we got Denny Avdia ruled out right before the stream. Jeremy Grant is out again. Duop Reith is out. Scoot Henderson's still out, and Robert Williams is still out. So we got some guys to look at here. What were your first instincts when those guys were ruled out?
Yeah, I think Klingon looks pretty solid. Pretty interested in getting there on DraftKings 5,900. Shaden Sharp also looks good. Banton is priced up now. Still kind of hard to get there, but depending on how the other. Did you say Simons was available or?
Simons, he's still questionable, and
Okay.
Kamara's still questionable, unless that changed like right now.
Yeah, he kind of depends on Simons for me. I think Banton could look good.
Okay. Yeah, Simons and Kamara are game time decisions. So if Simons is out, we're gonna go. I mean, Ban, like you said, the price is up 6,600 on FanDuel. I still think he's playable without Simons, but he's not a guy that we're like jumping to get to. At 5,400 on DraftKings, there's probably some better options, but we'll see how his value score goes up. I'm pretty sure he's still going to be projected well enough where he's going to show up in a large portion of lineups. I mean, this ownership has to go somewhere. That's kind of a lot, even if Anthony Simons plays. Top values on the team: Chris Murray and Matisse Tybel. I mean, Chris Murray, can we start considering him? I think we kind of ignore him usually on the show, but he's projected for 10% ownership today, and his value scores are really strong.
Yeah, I think he could be used as a GPP play. I would say he's probably appropriately owned.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think I'd want to get more than the 10% if I was. I mean, what kind of minutes do we have him projected for? 26 and a half. Maybe it's kind of a high projection. Guys were in, guys were out, whatever, but maybe take away a minute or two. And then he still has really strong value to mix in. Same with Matisse. Matisse, 15 and 22%. We definitely disrespected him last time, but were you getting any tonight?
Let's see. No, I actually have 0% right now.
Okay. I have 2%, so not much more than you, but is model approved? Kind of same deal. I think last guy in type play is fine. The guy I'm getting most here is Klingon, though. He's projected for 26, 28% ownership. We're up and down on him, but he's at 6K, model approved elite value, projected for 30 minutes. So I don't mind getting to Klingon today.
Yeah,
Let's take a look. 31, 30, 29, 33 minutes over his last few games. He's managed to keep his hands to himself. 0 fouls in 30 minutes is really good for him. So I'm comfortable playing him. Just hope he puts up a score like this. Shot pretty poorly, too. Anything else on Portland?
no, I think that's it.
Someone did ask about Jabari Walker late last time. We didn't really mention him. He's down here in the model. Maybe if Simon is rolled out, this comes up slightly, but I don't see it jumping too much to where we're going to want to play him a lot. Simon's overowned. He's probably overowned if he plays, but he's kind of between him and Sharp, they should take up the bulk of the usage. So he'd still be okay. Model hates him though at 34 minutes. Keep that in mind. Juzang starting. Did we get that lineup yet? I'd assume Juzang would keep starting. He's been starting, right? Utah.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Yeah, we should
No.
get that in before. Well, we'll get it during the stream, and it'll come out in about 20 minutes, if not a little sooner. But Juzang, once again, one of the top values. He hit a bunch of threes last time. 17, 19%. Him and Sensabaugh are the two like kind of value-ish guys, but I'm getting more Juzang due to the price. Still getting a decent chunk of Sensabaugh, and then tournament shots on Keontae and Filipowski. Are you getting anyone else?
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. And then I have a couple percent of Collier. I think he's okay to mix in. Don't love the price on DraftKings. Like with with what type of player he is, but still okay to get there every once in a while. So a few percent there, but yeah, it's mainly Juzang, Sensabaugh, and then some Keontae George.
I am cool getting to some Kali. I have a little bit over on DK. These are elite value scores for him, projected for 32 minutes. I don't think the ownership is too high, so it seems okay. I definitely always prefer playing him on FanDuel, though. And then Filipowski's up to 7,300. Model scores are still pretty good, though, I think, and so I'll still be getting there. Just not as much as I have in the last few slates. And then anything on Colin Sexton, he's showing up as very elite value around 6K. Maybe this is a guy that we can mix in at a little bit lower ownership.
Yeah, I don't mind getting there. His minutes have still been pretty decent, even when they're not trying to win games. So I'm fine getting to Sexton.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to bump him up to get any exposure, but I do like that it's kind of a low-owned guy to mix in. I wouldn't be surprised if he came in a little lower than this 14 and 12% we haven't projected for. We'll go to the next game, Atlanta. Muhammad Gaye, top of value, getting 0%, but I am getting a decent chunk of exposure to Karras, Trae Young, George Niang, Dyson Daniels, and Ricochet, like we have been every day. Are you any different, and who stands out here?
No, exactly the same. And then I do have a little bit of Dyson as well. It's mainly them four: Niang, Dyson, Trey, and Levert. I think they stand out the most to me. Levert, he has good positional eligibility on DraftKings, which is just easy to fit in your lineups. And then Niang, his price keeps going down. I think he looks like a solid GPP target. Trey, he looks okay. We have to pay up for somebody. No Giannis now, so I don't mind getting to Trey.
Yeah, at first glance, ownership might seem kind of high, but I don't know. He's projected for 35 minutes. It's a 13.5 point spread. Really strong scores in the model. Really good matchup for you against Utah. So Trey's a guy I don't mind. I'm not quite at the field, but if you did get there, it seems good. I wanted to address this question in the chat about Marcus Smart homecoming before we move on too far, saying that he could get some extra minutes. I've been saying last couple of weeks of the season, if you see a reason to give a guy extra minutes or play him in your lineup, go for it. At 17 minutes, Marcus Smart is probably not a great play today, but if you can project him for a few more minutes, like a lot more minutes, I guess, or just think he plays better, yeah, I don't hate stuff like that. Let's see. We'll go to Sacramento with the next game. So they've been taking Malik Monk off the bench. Hate to see it. They tried it. I thought it kind of worked for a bit. Then they traded D-Fox. Maybe Monk in the starting lineup isn't working anymore. But the Mantis is kind of looking like the Mantis again. He's up to 10,100 on DK, 7% ownership, 9,600 with the power forward eligibility on FanDuel, though. The only guy pulling heavy ownership, not heavy, but some ownership, and then DeMar over on FanDuel. Were you looking at anyone else?
No, I think it's mainly Sabonis on FanDuel. I have 1% of Zach LaVine on DraftKings, and that's my only exposure to the Kings. Just kind of a gross game environment overall, even though it does have a pretty healthy total. I don't know. I see them all as GPP plays. The model thinks Keegan Murray looks okay. I'm fine getting to a couple percent of Keegan Murray, but no meaningful exposures for me.
Yeah, that's kind of how I look at it too. I mean, Keegan up here is great, but I really don't want to play too much of him. And then the model consistently has DeMar DeRozan over Zach LaVine. Today, that's not a small difference, 10.6 versus 8 OF index, and then value scores are pretty wide gap too. So if you're taking the 1% shot, I think I'd rather just pay up and take the shot on DeMar. Keon Ellis should be starting 0% owned at 4,700. Is this just a little bit too much to pay for him?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I think we're having some audio issues, guys. It's kind of laggy in my headphones. I apologize if that's the case, but we're going to try to fix it for next season, I guess.
Yeah.
Anything else on a sack?
No. I think we're good.
Injury report was clean, right? Well, Keegan Murray's questionable, I guess. If he gets ruled out, Jake Laravia's already out. I mean, probably just give a few more minutes to Trey Lyles. I'm sure that he'll get bumped up in the model, and then yeah, probably just give another minute or two to the other guys. He's already kind of max minutes, though, 36, 37. We'll go to the Cleveland side, though. It's only a 10.5 point spread. 237 total is very healthy. I'm not getting as much as I hoped as I am. or as I'm not getting as much exposure to Cleveland as I would have hoped. But what were you getting from here?
Yeah, I'm not getting to a whole lot either. I have DeAndre Hunter as my highest exposed, and that's only 5%. I have a few percent of Struce, Mobley, and Garland. That's it currently. I don't mind getting there, but I don't know. It's a pretty good spot. It's just hard to get there. I see other priorities on this slate.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward because no one really stands out in the model like Donovan, Mobley, and then Darius at double digit OF index is probably fine to take tournament shots on. For points per dollar on FanDuel, these guys look great. On DK, it's a little bit tougher. I think we can just take tournament shots and that's it. I don't think anyone here is a priority. Ty Jerome's coming back today. I mean, we saw DeAndre Hunter go off last game, pretty low owned, 4,100. He was more model approved that day. The model's not really identifying him today. So if you want to go back, he's just a 2% shot. Go to this next game, Phoenix. Phoenix Knicks. Jalen Brunson, did we get an update on him? He's playing today, right?
I believe so.
Is he questionable? I think he's just in. Jalen Brunson. No, he's still questionable. So, well, starting with the Phoenix side, we're still without KD. Devin Booker's been pretty great. Knicks are not a soft defense, though. I'm getting a little bit. Bradley Beal scored 1 point last game. That was cool. And then Royce O'Neal, I'm not sure if he's going to start, but he's the main guy that I have interest in here. Were you looking at anyone more closely?
No, it's mainly Royce O'Neal and then shots at Devin Booker. I still like Royce, but I probably come down on him a little bit just with some of the other news that we got. But overall, I still think he's a pretty solid play as long as he starts.
Yeah, how much Bradley Beal for you?
I have 0 right now.
Okay. I have more than 0, but it's not going to be much more than 0. I mean, he's 1% owned. We know he's not that great, and I actually don't think he even cares anymore, but we've seen him do it this season, so I don't mind it if I have a couple lineups with him in it. The guy I wanted to mention, Oso Ighodaro, showing up as a really strong DK value, 4K center only, 0% owned. Is this a guy we can take shots on, or?
I have 1%. I just don't know about the ceiling when he's taking up your center position. So it's kind of tough to get there, but someone you could sprinkle in your lineups.
Yeah, make sure when you guys see weird guys like this near the top of value, pay attention to the minutes. We haven't projected for 27.8. That's way too high of a minutes projection to give him. Even if he has the potential to get there, take away a couple minutes. He's still going to show up as good value. I don't know if we have to take that risk today. Maybe if this is on like a turbo slate or something. Other side of the game, though, the Knicks. So they've been without Jalen Brunson, and they're kind of priced to be without Jalen Brunson. And so we kind of know that these guys all have their ceilings anyway if they're back. I think the person this probably hurts the most is OG, right? He's been the guy that we've been trying to get to. The model's been really in love with him.
Yeah, I think so.
How are you handling this team then with Brunson potentially back?
Yeah, for me, I'm getting to the most of Josh Hart, and then Bridges is like at a fair price. So I think they're reasonable options, but I still don't see any priorities here. I'm about with the field on Hart and Bridges. I think they look okay, but pretty much can probably just avoid this team aside from
Yeah, I don't hate it. I mean, those are really the only two guys that the model's into on DK. Mikal Bridges looks fine at the ownership, and then Josh Hart, sub 10%. I don't mind getting there. Pretty strong scores across the board. Cat, I think he's a 3% shot at 10K. Mitchell Robinson, And Brunson, I don't know. Would you take shots on Brunson today, or would you just play other guys?
I'd probably just play other guys.
Yeah, I think I'd go that way too. Trying to find that Pelicans starting lineup from last time I saw Jose asking about it. We'll find that by the time we get to that last game. Was there anything else you wanted to mention about the Knicks?
No.
Nope. Next game is a little bit more interesting. Indiana at Denver. We already know that Denver really wants to win. Jokic is pissed, dude. I mentioned earlier Jokic is my highest exposed player right now. He probably won't be my highest exposed player, but I'm going to have a ton of him. I'm getting a decent chunk of Halliburton, Obi Toppin. Remember, there's no Pascal Siakam today. So Obi Toppin, top of value. I'm kind of surprised his ownership is only showing this low. He is above 4K, but I think we should start there with Obi. Are you looking at him as a really strong play today?
Yeah, I think he's pretty strong. Right now, I have 28%. Wouldn't mind getting a little bit more than that, but it's the NBA. Anything could happen, so I could see uh, just kind of getting over the field, though, at least. Neesmith's also in play for me. I think Neesmith looks pretty solid. Don't mind Halliburton, but Neesmith and Toppin, as far as value plays go, are my priorities here.
Okay, nice. I was getting a few percent of Neesmith as well. I'm always uncomfortable playing him, but I've been leaving him alone lately just to get around that 10%. A little bit less Nemhard. Model does prefer Neesmith if you need a small forward versus a point guard. Matherin's down here at the bottom, single digit, but he is pulling 3 and 1% ownership. I have 1%. I don't mind it. TJ McConnell, kind of same deal, pulling 7 and 5% ownership. I don't mind it if I end up with a little bit. Jerace Walker, though, what do you think about him as kind of a pivot off of Obi? And actually, did you think Obi was going to start?
I think so. Sometimes they do weird things with their starting lineup, so it's possible they throw like Jerace or someone out there, but still, I think Obi's going to get the meaningful minutes, probably closes, and so I think he's still fine.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Jerace Walker ended up starting, but Obi, I don't know, because Jerace Walker, he's not min price anymore, and especially over on FanDuel, the 4,200 is a lot different from being like 3,600. On DK 3,600, if Jerace Walker starts, I'm going to like him, and I'm going to be comfortable playing him and Obi in the same lineup. I would set a rule max 2 of 3 and add Miles Turner to that list, though. I don't want all three big men in the same lineup because I'm getting a few percentage of Miles Turner. Uh, Model has him as elite value every day. We're going to go right back to him. He blew up last game. Not sure it mattered because the other value centers did it too, but they're going to need him tonight against Jokic, especially down Pascal. Anything else on Indiana?
Yep.
And I'll
No,
just
I
mention
think we're good.
and just to mention, like Tyrese is not showing up as great value on both sides. He's good. OF index is fine, 9,300. So maybe his ownership is a little bit high, but I'm getting there around 20% as of now. Other side of this game, Denver. I got less Jokic on my last run, I guess. Still more than 50%, but closer to 50 than 100. OF index is 17. It's pretty good. DK value, FanDuel value, both elite, most expensive player in the NBA, 41 and 22%. Are you interested in getting over on Jokic? And I guess just how big of a priority is he for you tonight?
Yeah, I need to rerun, but in my first run, I was getting like 93% Jokic, and I think I actually be okay with that. Not a ton of payups on this slate. You have one of the closest spreads on the slate with the highest total on the slate, so it's kind of everything you look for when you're wanting to spend salary on someone. So I think Jokic looks like the main priority on the slate for me.
Yeah, and I'm pretty happy to get there whether Jamal Murray's in or out. If Jamal Murray gets ruled out a little bit late, he's still questionable right now, I think. I don't think I can boost Jokic enough to where it's even going to change his exposure. I was a little disappointed when I saw him getting less of him than I was earlier. I was like you, I was getting 90% plus. I just reran with the Celtics stuff, and I'm getting 80% now. So it's not hard to fit him in. No one else on the slate can really match what he could do tonight. There's no Giannis, so it's not hard. I think we want to get there. What about other guys on Denver? If Jamal Murray plays, what's your interest in the rest of the team?
I have 0% of anyone else.
Okay. I'm only getting exposure to my boy Christian Brown. If Jamal Murray's out, I'm going to bump him even more. I'm going to be pretty happy to get over the field, even at 6,600. I think he's really good in these kind of spots. Aaron Gordon's going to look good too. The price is slightly uncomfortable, but I'm not sure. I'm assuming this is on the night slate. This is a pretty good night slate play, I think, if you're not getting there on the main. And then MPJ, he's been awful, but he's a tournament play, 7,200. We're just hoping he hits like 10 threes or something like that.
Yeah, I just reran. I got 1% MPJ, down to 75% Jokic.
Dang. Okay. And
I
Russell
go back
Westbrook,
to my old set of lineups.
this is like a pretty wide gap between DraftKings and FanDuel for Russ. 6,700 on FanDuel is definitely playable, if not like we're playing a ton of him if Jamal gets ruled out. The 8,500 on DK, we have to make some decisions. What do you think about him with or without Jamal?
I think he's playable. Not a priority though.
Yeah, yeah, I agree on even on FanDuel at that 6,700 if Jamal's out.
FanDuel, FanDuel, I think he looks really good, but DraftKings would be a little harder.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the model adjusts to. We have Russ in for 23 minutes right now. If Jamal's ruled out, I imagine he goes up to like 30, and then his usage, whatever, will go up. So these scores should go up, but make sure you check it later if you're playing that. See what's going on in the chat. Stacking Boston with the value than paying up for Joker looks good. Yeah, we'll take a closer look at Boston once I think the model's fully updated. But I'm questioning the value we get there because they still have Drew Holiday, Derek White, and Jalen Brown in. So it's not like the value pieces are going to pick up all the work, but there'll be something that we'll look at there. Klingon or Brolo? Did we talk about Brolo yet? No, we'll talk about Brick Lopez in that last game. He's got to look good tonight, though. He's been pretty good, and especially without Giannis, I'm pretty sure we're going to be very interested. Last night you got up to third and then dropped to 55th. Oh, dude, I already said today I'm not sweating anything. I'm just going to submit my lineups, make my late swaps, and then just look at the end of the night and hope I won something. Sweat right now is not great. Filipowski or Cornet, higher ceiling. Like for raw points, it's probably still Filipowski, but for the price, Cornet has the potential to pay off way harder than Filipowski since he's a lot cheaper. And pick three players pre-team. Which Celtics would y'all take? We'll talk about the Celtics in a couple minutes. Let's get into Houston. So they have a pretty great. I think this is a good game for fantasy. Houston versus Golden State. Golden State's been rolling. Houston's been pretty great. They just blew out OKC yesterday. Not getting too much exposure here, but I do think they are tournament plays. I mean, just a couple percent of basically all the starters. What do you think?
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. I think it's underowned, but it's kind of hard to pick out who you want to get to. Fred VanVleet definitely makes sense at his price, and then this seems like a game where Dylan Brooks plays his normal minutes, maybe a few extra. Just they want him out there against Steph, so I could see that as long as he don't get ejected. And then like Jalen Green, they're going to need his shooting. He's kind of priced appropriately, but still, all these guys I think are good to mix into your lineups, but no one's really a priority. Like no one stands out more than the other.
I've mentioned before that Dylan Brooks is a top three defensive player in the NBA, and that's not just my opinion. That's going by like what he like opponent field goal percentage type stuff. And Steph, he can't guard Steph. I looked it up. Steph still has good games against him, so I didn't touch Steph in anticipation of him facing Dylan Brooks. I do not care. I think Steph's a pretty good tournament play tonight still. But I agree with you on everything else. I don't think that I'm getting much here. I'd like to mix in percents. I just don't know who. Jalen Green is probably the guy that makes sense. I think he has a pretty strong ceiling. And then I don't think they're going to do that too big starting lineup with Sengun and Steven Adams again. They don't need that against Golden State at all. So I don't know who's going to start here. Jalen Green. I guess they have their regular starters, Amon Thompson and these four guys with Tari Eason and Jabari Smith both off the bench.
Yeah.
Any interest in Jabari or Tari?
No, not really. Don't mind tournament shots, but it's just hard to project them for enough minutes to really mean anything.
Yeah, I mention every day I always like Tari more than the field, and I like him more than 0%, but I don't know that I like him more than 1 or 2% today. It's just really hard to get there with the price, but we know what he can do, and this actually is not a bad matchup for him. So he's in my exposures. I don't have 0, but I'm not really on him like I am on most days. Unless something weird happens, maybe someone gets ruled out late, he ends up starting, then yeah, we'll be all over him as a late swap. But other than that, let's take a look at the Golden State side. I mentioned I like getting to Steph as a tournament play. He's only 2% owned. The model's not going to identify him as a strong value. 11.5 OF index is fine, though, at the price. I really think we want to get over this 2%.
Yeah, I agree. I think Steph looks pretty solid. His price is pretty nice, and then pretty close spread, pretty good total. I think him and Draymond make the most sense for me.
Yeah, when I bump Steph, I tend to bump Draymond. I think they're pretty correlated, so I'm happy to get over the 2% Draymond as well. And I'm not like jamming these guys. I'm not playing 30% or anything, but like if I have I don't know, low double digits with Steph and I don't know, high single digits on Draymond, I'll be happy with that. Is there anyone else on Warriors you want to take a shot on today?
No, not really.
It's like Pods, man. This guy's been playing so good. Have you seen those AI edits where people put his face on Jack Harlow?
No.
I started watching one and I was like, dang, I didn't realize they look that much alike. And then Jimmy Butler popped up and I was like, oh, it's AI. But Pod's minutes have been max 36, two close games in a row. The rebounds, assists are really strong. He's scoring. I don't know. He looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy to take shots. The industry is not really adjusting on him. He is a top value in the model, though. We probably have him rated better than any other site does in relation to everyone else. I'm pretty happy to get over this 1 to 2%. I mean, he's definitely worth taking some shots on, given what he's been doing lately.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm projected for 33 minutes. It's second only to Steph. Let's knock out this last game. We got Milwaukee at the Pelicans. Let's see. For Milwaukee, we didn't get Giannis officially ruled out, I don't think, but he's not playing today. Lillard's out. Pat Connaughton's questionable. And so I already saw earlier KPJ, top of value on both sides. Kyle Kuzma, strong value. Gary Trent, strong value. Brooke Lopez, you know what we do when Brooke Lopez shows up as a lead value. We play a ton of him. And so even Torian Prince. What's your exposure looking like to this team?
Yeah, I have an absolute ton of this team.
Yeah.
Currently sitting at 96% KPJ, 54% Brooke Lopez, 48% Kuzma, 41% Prince, 27% Gary Trent. Like, I just have a ton of this team, and I think it's the correct way to go. The Pelicans aren't good, so this game should still be close. They're trying to win games, so they're still going to play their guys. So overall, I think this looks like probably the spot to attack.
Yeah, I think I am going to keep setting the same rule I've been setting most days, max 3. Could be more of a mistake today, though. Maybe you want to stick to max 4 on DK. But I mean, KPJ and Brooke Lopez are my two top plays here. And then you mix in one of Gary Trent or Kyle Kuzma with maybe a Torian Prince, or you pivot off of KPJ to go to Ryan Rowland. It's not a great pivot, but 58% versus 1%, even at the price difference, I think that's a little bit too wide of a gap. So we want to mix in Ryan Rowlands. But it does make more sense if KPJ starts tonight because they kind of need his offense if they want to have a chance of winning.
Yep.
They are 7-point favorites still. That's got to adjust, right? No, they're down to 5-point favorites. Yeah, I don't know. Just play a ton of this team. I wasn't getting quite as much as you were, but I am over everyone except for KPJ. I'm exactly with the field, 58%. I'm way over on Torian. He's only pulling 3% ownership. I have like 10x that. I think I need to bump him down a little bit.
Or don't.
Or don't. Yeah, I might just keep that. See how that goes.
Nah, if he was like under 4K, I think it's fine. But he's 4,300 really isn't that cheap. Like, it's cheap, but Gary Trent probably has a higher ceiling.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Keep in mind, 4 games start at lock in about a half hour, and then there's 4 games after that. And so we don't have too much to late swap to, but if you do end up with like a ton of those Milwaukee Bucks and something pops up, you will be able to swap off it. We saw that be really helpful the other night when we got whatever was going on in that Spurs game. We got all the value. But last team on the slate, the Pelicans, Jose Alvarado's questionable. Kelly Olynyk's out and Jordan Hawkins is out. I don't know. I'm getting a decent amount of exposure here. Who are you getting to?
Yeah, I'm currently getting to a little bit of each guy. I think Makovich looks the best to me. Mm-hmm. Probably my favorite play here. And then all the rest are kind of like filler plays to me. Don't mind getting to a little bit of Jamal Cain. Misi's more of a tournament play. But then Keon Brooks and Reeves are both playable. Neither look like a priority, but just GPP plays.
Yeah, I agree with Reeves. He's the guy that optimizers just love because his medium projection isn't bad. But 4,100, he's only 1% owned today. He was a lot higher owned last time. I'm over that 1% for sure. Jamal Cain's not a guy that we've been mentioning on the show, but he got minutes last time. He's min-priced. Small forward. I mean, 2 games in a row, 20-plus minutes. Like, he didn't really do anything that first game, but if you guys have been playing NBA DFS for a while, you should remember Jamal Cain. I think when he was on, was it Miami? When he was kind of helping us out last year. This is worth some shots.
Yeah, played for the Heat. Yep.
Yeah, the Heat. Go ahead.
He's productive when he's out there. He's kind of fallen off a little bit this year, but he's normally a guy you could count on for a double-double. Like in 20 minutes, he can get a lot of rebounds. bounds. I don't know if it's a team or if he just kind of fell off as a player, but he's normally a really good rebounder.
I'm happy to take shots on him. I mean, the 9% is actually, I don't know if that's high or not. Maybe it's appropriate. Projected for 22 minutes. Model's not going to identify him as a strong value. I think if Jose Alvarado gets ruled out, we're going to bump him up a little bit more. Jose is up to 6,500 on DK at only 5%. I wasn't really into it, but Nick luckily saved the day and said he liked him that day he went off. He's just been shooting poorly. The usage has still been there. Minutes are still fine. Projected for 29.1. 5,900 on FanDuel for Jose, though. Are you happy to get there on both sides?
Yeah, I think it's fine. The Bucks defense kind of takes a big hit without Giannis out there. It's just another body that's not there, and they have KPJ out there. So yeah, I think the Pelicans look pretty solid.
And I'll mention a couple other guys. I mean, I'm getting a few percent of Jeremiah Robinson Earl. Not sure how I feel about that. At least he's power forward on DK, which is good at the 3,600. Did you have thoughts on him?
I'd rather avoid if I can, but
Okay.
if he makes like a lineup or two, I think it's fine.
Okay. And then, yeah, a couple percent of Bruce Brown, but I prefer the other guys. The model does too. All right. Let's see. What is the Pelicans' likely starting lineup? Oh, I see why you asked, because this is a disaster. I'm trying to find what they went with last time. I can't find it, though. Do you have it on your screen, Smitty?
No, I don't.
They played on the 4th. Unless I'm blind, it's not on a popcorn machine.
Let me see if I could pull it up.
I mean, just looking at it, assuming Alvarado's in, he's definitely starting. Misi's definitely starting. Bruce Brown. So those three probably. Keon Brooks has been starting. And then the fifth guy would be, I don't think it's Antonio Reeves. Makovich, maybe? Keon Brooks. So these
I
four.
went Bruce Brown and Olynyk.
Okay, so with Noah Olynyk, you think Makovich slides in there? Or I don't think they.
Yeah,
I think
it'll either be Makovich or maybe JRE, but I would think they start Makovich.
Okay, and then did on the second, did Antonio Reeves actually start though? Because I thought Reeves did not start the game on the 4th. I might be mistaken. I don't know. We might have to see. Yeah, we're
I
not
think
sure.
he did. I know he started one game.
Okay, so we're pretty confident Jose's starting. Misi, Bruce Brown. I think it's going to be Keon Brooks and Carlo Makovich. Could be Antonio Reeves though instead of Brooks.
Yeah, I think JRE and Makovich could flip flop. Like either one of them could start, but Makovich is still the better.
I got to think the field thinks Makovich is starting because he's projected for 30% ownership, elite value in the model. I like Makovich on regular days, but on a day like today where they're missing at least Olynyk, potential for more minutes, I want to play more. I want to play more Mako. Smitty, how much Jamal Cain were you getting to? I have 9% in my build right now. I'll see if see how that changes.
I have 18%.
Okay, so yeah, somewhere we like Jamal Cain today, even though the model says no. I imagine that'll go up if Jose Alvarado gets ruled out. And yeah, Anthony Simons is out. Tumani Kamara's in. Let's refresh and take a look at Boston real quick, and then we're gonna get out of here in just a minute. So Boston, Luke Cornett is showing up as a strong value, 5K though, 4,600 over on FanDuel. He's only 4% owned on DK. That doesn't sound right to me, but I know I want to be over that 4%. What do you think about Luke Cornett?
Yeah, I think he's fine. I can kind of just throw him in the bucket of other pretty good center options on the slate.
Yeah.
The minutes should be pretty solid, but he's center only, which makes it kind of difficult. But still worth more than 3%, but that's probably not correct.
I want to know what the rest of the industry is projecting him for minutes wise. 27? That seems fine to me. Potential to play a little bit more. I guess it's possible he plays a little bit less. And I want to make sure I mention Al Horford in here. I don't know what Cornet's ownership is going to look like, but Al Horford isn't that much more expensive, especially over on FanDuel. And we've seen him kind of go off when other guys are out. I will point out the model doesn't love him today. Model's been loving Al Horford. It likes him over on FanDuel, but on DK at that 5,900 price, it's a little tougher sell, I guess. And what are your thoughts on the rest of Boston? How much should we be getting to like Derek White and Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown?
To me, they don't really seem like priorities. Kind of just guys you mix in. I think Jalen Brown and Derek White both look pretty good. I'm getting to about 15% of each of them. And then I think Peyton Pritchard looks a little better, but 6,300 is kind of hard to stomach. I think the FanDuel price is a little more appealing, but he also don't score great for FanDuel. But this does seem like a game where they could kind of let him go. So I think on FanDuel he looks fine. DraftKings, you're pushing it, but I think he's an okay GPP play.
Yeah, I like taking that shot on Pritchard. I mean, everyone is better on FanDuel here. It's evidenced by the ownership, pricing, value scores. But Pritchard over on FanDuel, 20-point spread. If he gets that blowout run, he should be pretty good. It's high ownership, 25%. It's a lot of people taking a shot on that, but he probably just projects well today, though. And then where's Chris Paul in the model? Oh, I thought he was closer to the top. Chris Paul, 14.6 DK value. Just for, we'll go by point guards. He's a little bit higher than Jose Alvarado, a lot lower than these other guys. Delano Banton shot up. Even at this 5,400 price, the model absolutely loves him. I wasn't expecting him to be like the top by quite a bit, but we do have him projected for 35. This will come down. This will come down by a few minutes, so he's not going to stand out this much, but he's going to be near the top. We're going to like Delano Banton a lot again. 11-point high no-of index. Let's see. Who else do we need to talk about? Was there another team we were supposed to talk about? We just got late news on someone.
No, I think that was it.
Blazers are starting Banton, Sharp, Tybal, Kamara, Klingon. Nice. Spurs, same starting lineup they've been rolling with. Harrison Barnes is in there. Kings are starting Keon Ellis. Trey Lyles is starting for the Kings. Let's refresh and take a look at that. Is this a guy we're mixing in? I don't think this is a value guy we like jump to jam in, but he's for sure someone we wanna play. 14.8 value on DK is pretty good. 3,400.
Yeah, I think a few percent looks good, and he's power forward eligible.
What's different? Oh, because Keegan Murray got ruled out? Oh, I missed that one. Yeah, Keegan Murray got ruled out, so definitely bump Trey Lyles. Keegan's already out of the model here. We have DeMar DeRozan showing up as a super strong value, but minutes are still adjusting. He's not playing 40, but he's still going to show up really good. Trey Lyles is probably going to be the man here, projected for 22 minutes. I could see him playing a couple more. Yeah, don't hate that. Let's see. Smitty, do you like Brook Lopez more than Klingon?
Yeah.
Model has Klingon slightly ahead of Brook Lopez. Similar price, similar ownership. To me, it's kind of a coin flip. Yeah, maybe Brook Lopez hits a ceiling a little bit more often here. He probably benefits from Giannis being off more than Klingon benefits from Avdia being off. Juzang and Sensabaugh starting. Yeah, I think they're both good mix-ins. We're going to get more Juzang because he's higher on the model and because he's cheaper, but I think they're both great. I mean, maybe not great, but guys I'm comfortable playing. Yeah, I forgot. I don't know if I actually mentioned Elfrid Payton's name. He's showing up every single day for me, and he continues to show up as a good value and project well. He's 1% owned. If you take some shots, I don't hate it, but I would prefer to play someone else. But if I get a few percent, I don't change it. I've been keeping it. And Discord, yeah, Jayhawk's going to be starting in about 15. He'll go a little bit over to talk about those later games since the slate starts in about 15 minutes. I did forget the dummy yesterday. Disappointing because we probably would have just built the nuts minus KPJ. But Smitty, let's build a quick dummy. Who do you got?
Jokic, KPJ.
Yep.
Either Brook Lopez or Klingon.
We'll do Brook. KPJ.
We could probably fit Trae Young too.
Yeah, let's try and fit Trae Young as our other pay up. Makovich, assuming he's starting.
Yeah.
Guess who my third highest exposed player on the slate is now? It's Taurean Prince. I need to fix that. Did we?
I say we go with another buck. Either Kuzma, Prince, Gary Trent.
Let's try Gary Trent since maybe he'll open up something with his 4,100. I was looking at someone on the Pacers. Did we want to put in Obi or Jerace? Obi. We'll try Obi.
Yeah, we could probably.
Leaves us 3,900 for a small forward. It's actually less than I thought. I thought we were doing pretty well on salary.
Probably find someone.
Whoever. Oh no.
No, maybe not.
Yeah,
What
we're
about
gonna.
Trey Lyles instead of Obi?
Oh, all right. Let's try that. I kind of like that pivot. Trey Lyle saves us some money. 4,800 at small forward. Karis LeVert's not too bad. Naismith, we don't mind. DeAndre Hunter, Keon Brooks, maybe you can upgrade someone else. Something
Yeah,
like
I kind
that.
of like that.
Yeah.
Royce O'Neal.
Yeah, Royce O'Neal, swap out Makovich. I think the guys we really want to make sure, like, I like Trey Young a lot, but I think Nikola Jokic is the pay up that we focus on today. And then KPJ, are you just assuming he starts?
Yeah, I would think so.
I'm assuming he starts too. He's still going to be fine off the bench, though. And then we have a couple good mid range centers. Let's just do one last refresh if you guys want to.
Yeah, I guess
Good.
we didn't put Banton in there. I didn't
Yeah.
think about him.
Yeah, I was going to say Banton. So Banton instead of Trey Young and then pay up for someone.
Yeah, that's probably better.
Leaves us
That's probably more
7,100.
cashier way.
Yeah, and if you want to go a little more contrarian, what we can do here is get to DeMar DeRozan, who came way up in the model. He's going to come in low owned, 5,800 at power forward. Yeah, you're still going to have to move something around, but we have options tonight, fellas. Tari Eason starting. Did someone get ruled out? I wouldn't expect him to with the lineup they have today. He didn't end up starting last time, I don't think, right? Because they started Steven Adams. And so,
I don't see the lineup.
well, real quick, fellas, here's the top for DK value today. Just pause the video if you want to keep this up. Here's the top for FanDuel value. Pay attention to the minutes, too. I think the model's still crunching, but 35 is at least closer to Banton, what he will be. And then absolute OF index. Yeah, some good stuff today. Smitty, anything else you want to mention to the people before we get out of here?
No, I think we're good.
All right, Jayhawk's starting the Discord Q&A about now. Instructions to join that are in the description below. Thank you for staying with us today, guys. I know the audio issues were probably annoying, and I'm assuming you could hear the audio issues that I heard too. But, we'll work on that, and we'll